Hey guys, it's Neil again from Harder Texas Armory, and today I got another video review for you guys, and that's of this awesome little fishing rod you see in front of you, and that is a Emmrod. So right there you can see the name of it, Emmrod. And this is probably, in my opinion, the best compact or breakdown or backpacking, whatever we're going to call it, style of rod out there on the market. It is incredibly light, it's incredibly durable, and it's well built. I mean, this is way better option than, I'm sure you guys have seen those little eBay telescopic Chinese rods, they break down real small, maybe 10 inches overall length. But those things just don't last, in my opinion. I have used them a few times, but you're never going to get probably more than a season of use out of those. If you're lucky, and most likely just a few fishing trips and you're going to break that thing. Whereas this Emmrod here is built to last. It will last, I don't think you'd ever be able to break one of these things, in my opinion. So the model that I have is the Emmrod Mountaineer, and I'll put a text pop up with the name of it right there for you guys. But I think this particular model has actually been discontinued. They have some others on their website that are similar. But the Mountaineer has this, and you can see I have it in this configuration here, but I'll take that little rod off, the stainless steel rod off in a second. But this one has the cork handles, which I really like. It's a really good grip, plus it's classic looking. And it has this little brass weight, which is unscrewable, and you can put in different weights. You could put a stainless steel one in there, or put two brass ones in there, or whatever you want to do to get the balance perfect for your needs. But again, this is the Mountaineer from Emmrod. They have a whole bunch of different models on their website you can take a look at, and I'll provide a link to their website in the video description, so if you're interested, take a look at them. But what makes this thing so unique is the way it breaks down and packs. So you can see with the rod slipped over the handle here, you're looking at an overall length of 14 inches. So that's incredibly compact. It's going to fit in any backpack. It's going to, even like a pistol case or something like that. It's going to pack up real easy. And it's easy to store as well. So this right here, you could keep in the back of your pickup truck or something like that behind the seat. And you always have a fishing rod that's capable, ready to go. Your weight on this, without a reel, you're looking at 10 ounces. There are some other models that they have that are a little shorter overall length, and I think they're getting down to the 7 or 8 ounce, but mine with that brass weight and the longer length is 10 ounces. Let me get the actual rod off here. You can see how that works. It just slides right over the handle for compact packing. But on mine here, you can see I have these two Allen screws that you can loosen up, and you can adjust the angle of the handle. And I'll have a picture pop up right now showing you how that works. I don't ever really use that, but it is kind of cool that you can do that on my particular model. Again, some of the other models they have, they don't offer that feature, but mine does. And let me go ahead and put a reel on here. So this is a spinning reel, of course, and you just put it on just like any other rod. You'll screw that little cap down over the top. It catches over that end there and snugs it up. So there it is with the reel on it. Very comfortable to use. Again, with that cork handle, it's just looks good, feels good. You have good grip. I have no complaints with that. So the way this works is you'll see here on the end of your stainless steel rod here, there's those lugs. So you got two sets of lugs. And what you'll do is you'll insert that into the handle just like this. If I can get it to work here. One second, guys. There we go. There's only one way it'll go, and obviously because it's got those lugs. But once you get in there in this position here, so you can see I have the reel on the bottom and the coils are facing the camera. What you'll do is you'll push in. There's a strong spring in there, and you can see it, hopefully. You see how I'm able to move that? That's the spring tension right there. So you'll push in, and once you push in, you can rotate that counterclockwise, and you'll feel it click into place, and now that thing is rock solid. It will not come out. The only way for it to break apart would be if you pushed in on it like I did, and it takes, maybe it's quite a bit of spring tension there. You push in, and now you rotate, clockwise, of course, and it'll pop out. So that's how that works. So in this configuration here with, you're looking at an overall length of 25 inches. So very compact. You can go a little smaller if you go with this 4-coil, but 25 inches in this setup right here. The advantages of this small rod, besides being able to pack it in your backpack or whatever, but it also lets you reach spots that you never would be able to access before, or use a normal traditional rod with. With this here, traditional rods, if you got a long, say a 6 foot, fishing rod or something like that, you go to these spots that have a lot of brush and overhang, you can't cast in there because your rod's going to get caught up in all that brush and branches. Whereas this one here, no problem. It's real compact, it's close to your body, and you can reach these spots where the fish are because no one is able to fish there. And that's one of the main things I love about this thing is I can fish just about any spot with this reel. You'll see that with the coils, so you have different coils. The number of coils depends on the weight rating. So the more coils, the lower weight. So this 8 coil here is rated for 5 to 10 pound fish, whereas this 4 coil is going to be a lot more heavy duty, and it's rated up to 25 pounds. So you could do some saltwater fishing or whatever you need to do with this particular one. And these are the two that I use. I mainly use the 8 coil because I'm mainly fishing for bass, along the bank, and they're very rarely more than, say, 3 pounds. So this 8 coil works perfectly for that for me. The advantage is this here, it gives you a little more sensitivity. So you can see it's like a spring. But having that 8 coil, it's a lot more sensitive. So you get a smaller fish on there, you're able to feel it a lot better. Just about as good as a traditional rod. It's very sensitive. Whereas this one here, it's a stronger spring, and you can feel them, but not as sensitive as the 4 coil, or I'm sorry, the 8 coil, excuse me. But the way this works is it kind of has a load up. So when you cast this thing, and you do have to there's a little technique to it, and it's going to take you a little practice to get the technique down, but you kind of want to, whip it, because when this thing is in slow motion, if you're looking at it, it's going to go back and the spring's going to load up. And then when you fling forward, it's going to fling forward with your arm movement and the spring, and it's going to fire that lure out of like a cannon. So you'd be surprised once you get your technique down that you can cast a considerable distance with this. You're never going to cast as long as a traditional rod, but you can get very, very close. I mainly cast close to shore, so it's not even an issue at all for me. But if you're used to casting long distances, I would say that this Emmrod here can probably go about 80 to 85% of a traditional rod. So keep that in mind. And a lot of it is technique. Another cool advantage that I like with this rod is if you're fishing from a kayak, this rod is a dream. With your long traditional rods, if you have a fish on your line and you're in your boat, your rod's hanging out the side of the kayak, and you got a fish on, and it's wanting to pull your boat to the side. Whereas this rod here is so compact, it's close to your body. It just makes the boat a lot more stable. Y'all guys know how that works, but it really is a big difference in my opinion on a kayak, and I really like that with this rod. I do a lot of dirt biking. I have a dual sport, street legal dirt bike, and I ride it all over, and I'll find these old dirt roads or trails, and I'll ride down them, and I'll see a creek or a river or a pond or something like that, and I can have this rod and reel in my backpack broken down. And if I see something like that, like a nice spot for fishing, I can just stop, pull over, and I can actually fish. And I love that about this rod. You're never going to be able to do that with a traditional rod. So that is a huge advantage for this particular setup here. You can use spinning reels like I got here. You can also use it with the bait caster style reel. I will mention, it's very important, if you use a spinning reel, when you run your line, make sure you go through the coils. So you have to pass the line through the coils and then through the eye here. Where a bait caster, you're going to go over the top of the coils. But just keep that in mind. If you use a spin caster like I got here, run your line through the middle of the coils. But I will say too that traditional rod, you got all those eyes, and those are all friction points for your line as it fires out as you're casting. This actually has less friction, so that's another kind of advantage. It's less wear on your line, and also that makes up for some of the lack of distance that you get for having short overall package. You have less friction, so you do get That's another reason why you're getting close to a traditional rod with this little short one. But overall, man, these things are incredible. I really suggest you guys take a look at them if you haven't ever heard of this brand. These Emmrods are really excellent rods. I really enjoy mine. It's pretty much all I fish with now. I've got other rods and reels, but I mainly grab this one. Even if I'm not backpacking or camping or riding my dirt bike, I'll still grab this one. It just, I really like it. So anyways, guys, if you're interested, take a look at them. They're highly recommended from me, Neil at Heart of Texas Armory. They're well worth the money. I don't know if I mentioned the price. I paid about $80 for the rod and two coiled section, or the handle and two rod sections here, not the reel, but $80 for this package here, which may sound high, but again, I've had this for 5 years and it's held up perfectly, and I don't think I'll ever break this thing, so I'll probably have this the rest of my life, and that's well worth the money in my opinion. So if you haven't checked out these, definitely do. Highly recommend it for me, Neil at Heart of Texas Armory. Y'all guys take care. I'll catch you on the next one.